Good evening, YouTube. Mate Grimlock, and I am back again. I have been inspired by ilovemess' last video, Dreadwind and Smoke Jumper. In that video, well, I've been inspired in two ways, which you're going to see in this video. In that video, Ray mentioned that none of us have ever sat through the entire Unicron trilogy, and you know what? I think he's probably right. There is a reason for that, like, but he unintentionally threw down the invisible gauntlet, and I've decided, in my infinite ignorance, I suppose, to watch them all. I've watched bits of them before, episodes here, episodes there. I've never sat down and watched, Armada, Energon, Cybertron back to back. All obviously not all in one go, because that would take forever. But in order, and I'm not without missing anything. So this week I've started watching Armada. I'm up to about episode 17, and oh my god, it is awful. It is really bad. I don't remember it being as bad as it is. I've fallen asleep about 15, 16 times at least. It might have something to do with the times that I'm watching it. Like, it's usually at very late at night before I go to bed. But Jesus, it's awful. It's terrible. There's so many errors and inconsistencies, and I understand. I've done a bit of reading on it, and I know that at the time they were being forced to just churn them out. So there was a lot of the time they hadn't even finished the script when they were animating it and things like that. But there's a couple of little things that just don't make sense. I think in the first episode, Optimus Prime calls his Minicon Leader 1. When Megatron's already called his Leader 1, and obviously Optimus is a spark plug, so there's just so many little things like that just keep cropping up all over the place. It's poor. It's starting to pick up a little bit. I'll give it some credit. The first sort of 7 or 8 episodes, I think, are just the basic core characters, and then Smokescreen comes in, and then Sideways and some other ones, and it's starting to pick up a little bit now. I think the more characters there are, the better it'll get, but I'm not entirely sure why I've decided to submit myself to this challenge, but it's happened and I'm doing it, so I'll keep you updated and let you know what's going on. The other thing that Ray mentioned in his video was how the Bayformers, how the movies had, I think the word he used was soured, as they've soured his impression of the toys, and how he couldn't get into the toys because of because of the backstory and the characters that Michael Bay had created in his universe, basically. There are one or two of the Dark Moon line which I'd like to show you today, which I think the movies really don't matter, because they weren't in the movies, and they are absolutely awesome, basically. Well, I think they're awesome. I know a lot of people hate the Bayformers, they hate the movieverse bots. There's one or two good ones. There's more bad than there is good, I'll agree with that, but ladies and gentlemen, Cyberverse Powerglide, how can you not say no to that? He is beautiful, absolutely awesome in pretty much every detail. There are a couple of flaws with this character, with the figure, as there is with everything. I don't know if you can make that out, but he's got some really, really nice Autobot logos on his wings there. The girl who loved Powerglide would approve. Yeah, he's fantastic. I do love his. It's just everything about him, really. The colours are nice. I like a little bit of paint apps. He's got his cockpit. He's got his little machine gun on the front. He's a very, very, very nice homage to the G1 Powerglide, which unfortunately I don't have, because I was going to compare them, but I haven't got one. But I mean, there's a nice bit of paint work on his rotors, his propellers. All down the side there, some silver paint apps, and a very, very tidy plane mode. There's nothing really gives away anything in terms of kibble or anything like that. He's lovely. Bit of a size comparison for you. Here's a fellow aeronaut. We have Dreadwind from Transformers Prime Cyberverse, so they're actually roughly the same size. Dreadwind might be a little bit longer, but I'm not sure. But yeah, he's a very, very nice bot, and obviously he's not in any of the films. There's no backstory to him in terms of that. It's just somebody somewhere decided to make a really, really nice homage to Powerglide, and yeah, in this mode he's fantastic. The only problem he has possibly is that these bits don't really stay pegged in very well, and they are prone to coming out. He's got some landing gear on there, you can't really put it down. If you do, he just leans over like that when he sits down because he's a bit back heavy. But yeah, on the whole, he's lovely. A quick transformation, he's dead simple. You just straighten that out, that's his legs. Split them apart, and then he's got these huge feet. See if I can get this on for you. Look at the size of them. And they're really weird looking as well. But I mean, that's kind of a Bayformer thing, I suppose. You just flip them down. They're pretty, they keep them nice and stable though, so that's the good thing. Right, what we do next? Right, get the wings, and they just untab. And then this whole fuselage section comes out like that. Then we turn the fuselage round, like so, and there's a tiny little tab. Well, there's a hole in there, and there's a tab on the side of the Powerglide himself, which I'm going to just pop that into. If I can, there we go. And we'll do the same on this side. So this tab in here. Then I'll get you get his crotch, just fold that up. It's kind of on a double hinge, and it just folds up nice and neat into that part there. Then his arms are a bit weird. Oh, do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to take his weapons off. He is armed to the teeth, this man. He's got missiles coming out of his nipples. I don't know. Basically, these just pop off. I'll quickly pop them off. And then we're left with almost completed Powerglide. So we need to sort his arms out now. So his hands are cleverly tucked away, just as usual, and that just comes down like that. Then you just sort of straighten the whole arm section out and turn the wing around, flip it around so it's facing up that way like that. This is the other main flaw with this Powerglide, and to be honest, it's almost spoils the entire toy because it's so badly done. These little tabs, they just, you can't move the arm without it popping straight out. It doesn't. It just sort of rests there. It doesn't stay in properly. So as soon as you move the arm, it just pops straight out, which is really terrible. If he didn't look so lovely, that would be a major problem. Right, so we're nearly there now. So the last thing obviously is the big head reveal. You just get the cockpit and fold it down, and there you have Powerglide falling apart as usual. Yeah, but I mean, like I say, it's a small issue because he looks lovely. He looks really nice. Some nice bits of detail and paint apps on here as well. His arms are really plain, which is slightly let down, but you know, where his feet were hiding in plain mode, he's got some nice bit of paint work in there. His crotch is quite cool with silver paint on it. There's a bit of detail in these bits here, and on the whole, I think he makes a pretty good bot. He's got his weapons. Now, when they're in plain mode, they're sort of like this. They do fold up. There's like tiny little hinges. You'll see the peg there reflecting off my screen. That folds up like that. So you end up with like a four missile launcher, and then this one folds around like that. And the idea being, you get Powerglide's hands, and this just fits straight into his hand like that. This one is apparently supposed to combine with this weapon, but if you did that, it'd just end up looking ridiculous. So I normally just pop it in his other hand, and then you end up with dual weapon Powerglide. And yes, he's very nice. Like I say, a couple of flaws. The ball joints on his hips are really loose. You know, and every time you move an arm, these bits just come straight off. The girl who loved Powerglide would not approve of that. But on the whole, I think he is absolutely amazing. A little bit of a size comparison again, because I can't be able to transform him. Here's Skyquake. So again, not really much of a difference there. So at least the Cyberverse line stayed sort of fairly consistent. But yeah, Powerglide. If you don't have him, find him because he's mint. I love him to bits. The only other one that I could think of, like off the top of my head, who is another Dark of the Moon toy, but it didn't appear in the films. I know there's quite a few of them, but there's a couple a few that I've got and a few that I haven't. Is this little fella here? We all love the Wreckers, don't we? Everyone loves the Wreckers, except for maybe these Wreckers. Yeah, but this guy, the last stand of the Wreckers, he's the cutest little thing ever, and he's also hard as nails. Guzzle. You know, somebody somewhere decided Dark of the Moon line, let's do a Guzzle, which you can only commend them for, really. And he's a very nice tank. There's a nice little bit of detailing on him there, some good moulded in stuff. Nice wheels, you can pretty much see how he transforms. You know, and he's got a turret. The turret doesn't move, unfortunately. You can't really do anything with that. But on the whole, he's another very nice little Dark of the Moon figure. So let's just get him transformed. Basically, what you do, he's all just kind of panelled together, so you just kind of have to crack him open if you can, because that's the only problem I have with him, is that he's quite tricky. He's quite tight, and I've snapped one of the pegs off him already, but never mind. Right, so pull his legs down, then they just sort of fold out like that. I'll try and get this one on for you. So there you go, you see that. Then you just pull his feet out, like that. If I can get them both out, he's quite stiff, which is, you know, a nice thing, I suppose. These panels on the side just fold up, like so, and then we take this whole section, move it down to the side, and then where his turret was before, this actually hides his hands, so you just sort of fold that back on itself, and then we have Guzzle. Now the instructions, apparently, well, yeah, he's supposed to be transformed with his turret turned round on his back like that, facing down, but that gives him an unfortunate crotch with rather large pole sticking out of it. And if you look at the last stand of the Wreckers, he has it pointing straight up, so I tend to leave it like that. But again, he's got some nice, I mean, bright yellow chest, which is really weird looking, and a bright blue face, but it's quite nice, and he's nice and squat, and he carries off Guzzle quite well, I think. You know, he comes across quite nicely, and it was really nice of the Dark of the Moon line just to see a few new moulds. I mean, I know a lot of the stuff was new, but the Cyberverse stuff was quite new, and you know, I don't think he's been used since or before. So good on you, Hasbro. Nice one. Anyway, yeah. So I shall keep you updated as to how my Unicron trilogy is going. I don't expect it to go very well. I'm going to try and get to the end of Armada and see how I feel about it, I think. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe. Mostly comments, please, because I do enjoy commenting and returning commenting and all that stuff that goes with it. Yeah, I'm going to stop me rambling now. Thanks very much. See you later. Bye.
My girl,